Alright guys, welcome back to Deep South, welcome back to Outlaw Bayou Rider. Sorry, I just got off work. As you noticed, I got my bike tore down. You're probably wondering, well, what in the world's going on over here? Well, boom, there we go. First off, I didn't even know this stuff existed. High heat primer, resists heat up to 2,000 degrees Fahrenheit. If that gets up to 2,000 degrees, you go right ahead. I don't think they get up that hot, maybe 1,000 degrees, which I have some paint to go on it. That paint is rated for 900 degrees. So hopefully with this, and then just putting the paint over it, it won't get that hot. Honestly, I don't think it gets to 900. Now I know exhaust, that's a whole different ball game. But anyway, so here's the old paint job I did years ago. As you can see, there's no primer underneath it, so I did not prime it, and it's just now starting to peel. So I'd say I had that on there for a good 6 years, maybe 4, anywhere between 4 and 6 years. I really don't know how long I've had that on there, but I know you guys can hear me rattling this can around. You're probably wondering, what in the world are you getting ready to paint? That. So this is the one I spent time sanding. So now I'm getting ready to lay some primer down on it. Nothing too spectacular. I'm just trying to get a good coverage over it. You know, I wiped it down as best as I possibly could. It's still going to have some fingerprints on it, but hopefully the primer will cover that up. But yeah, I'm just right now I'm doing the top of the engine. I'll do the rest of it later. I'm just wanting to get good coverage. And this wind is not making things easy. Luckily, I've been using a rattle can for a while, so I know how to let the wind work in my favor when it comes to using a rattle can. So, get the back side here. Not like it's really necessary, because you're not going to be looking at the back side. But it says this is fast drying. So I'll probably let this sit here for 30 minutes or so. And then I got to throw it in the oven. I already have my wife. She's got the oven set to 250 degrees. The instructions on here. Here we are. Items off of vehicle. Wait, where we go? Come on. Come on. Are you gonna make this difficult? Anyway, since it's not wanting to, there it is. So it says bake at 250 for 30 minutes, then allow 30 minutes to cool, and then you bake at 400 degrees for 30 minutes, and then allow 30 minutes to cool, and then bake at 600 degrees. Now, I don't think that our oven gets that hot. I know it has a broil, but I don't know if it gets that hot. But yeah, as you can see, that prime job looks really, really good. So, I mean, like I said, even with the wind blowing like it is, I've learned how to let the wind work in my favor rather than, you know, get frustrated. That's how I was when I first learned how to use a rattle can outside, didn't have a shop. So, you know, I've learned to let the wind work in my favor, and I mean, as you can see, proof is in the pudding. I mean, that looks like it was done with a spray gun, which I've done it with a spray gun before. It comes out looking the same exact way. The only downside to using a rattle can is the moment you push down that top, you've already lost your pressure. So the pressure is not the same. Whereas with a spray gun, which is mainly HPLP, if you set it to 30 psi, you're working with 30 psi the whole duration of your spray. Whereas with this, let's say they put 100 psi in this can. As soon as you press down on it, you've already lost a pound. So 100, 99, 98, you get my point. So as you continue going on, and so you got these instructions on here, directions that'll sit here and tell you, you know, hold can 16 to 14 inches away from surface and blah, blah, blah. That may work on the first initial spray, like the 16 inches away. You know, that's a pretty good distance. Because when you're painting a car, you're really only painting about this far away. I'm trying not to touch this because I know it's not dry yet. It looks dry, but it's not fully dry yet. I'm going to give it a while. And while this is drying, I'm going to be sanding the other one. But yeah, like I said, you're only painting from your palm to the tips of your fingers. So about that far away. That's not 16 inches. That's not even 14 inches. So, you know, in the beginning, you know, full can, spraying full blast, yeah, that's great bringing it back that far. But as the PSI goes down, you're going to want to get closer and closer. So, you know, you have to keep that in mind. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and sand that other one. And then that way I'll have 2 items to put in the oven rather than just one. And then we'll get back to you. It might be tomorrow. I mean, the sun is going down. It's getting later in the day. And we have things we have to do in town. So it might be next day. But I'm just letting you guys know. Alright guys, so yes, it is the next day. But here is what this one turned out to look like. I say not too bad, huh? Just with a rattle can of primer and then paint. I think that looks pretty good. I mean, yeah, that looks really good actually. So now, need to put this side back on. And then I will take off the other one. The reason I'm not taking them all off at the same time, a lot of you are probably like, why aren't you doing it all at once? So these bolts here, as you can see, these hold down the jugs. So I don't want anything to come apart or mess up or whatever by taking all 4 of them off at the same time. So I'm only doing staggered. So one on that side and leaving this side on, and then of course I did this side and left that side on. So now I'm going to do the exact opposite once I put these bolts back in. But I mean, it came out great. Very little orange peel. I'm not going to sand it and all that. It's a bike. It's not a show car. It's not even a show bike. I'm just happy that I didn't have to put it in the oven. This is Rust-Oleum caliper paint. And so if you're wanting to paint your calipers red, hey man, that looks pretty good. So I plan on doing the whole bike in caliper red. But like all of this is still going to be black. So, you know, you'll see it once it's all done. But this is going to be the cream of the crop when I'm done with it. So just stick around and waiting to see how that ends up. But I've got to drain all the fuel that's in it. It's not very much in it, but I need to drain that fuel out and then like fill it up with water, you know, just dilute the fuel, leave the cap off for a while, let it air out. But I want to put that in the oven, and you don't want to put a gasoline tank in the oven. So I've got to do something, maybe fill it up with sand or powder or something. I'll figure out the best way to do it. I'll do some research. But yeah, that's what I have so far. So let's just keep it going. I'll be right back. Alright guys, it's slowly coming together. I still have to pull the petcock off and the key switch, and I need to pull the top to the fuel tank off. I mean, there's just bits and pieces that I have to take off. Like I need to take this ring off for this light, the ring off that goes on this speedometer. I gotta disassemble the little indicator section here. I mean, it's just little intricate parts. What's going to be a real pain in the butt to get at are these little deals right here. The shocks aren't that bad, but like these little deals right here are going to be a pain in the butt. But anyway, I've got a couple other things I need to spray. I do have this off, so all I need to do is sand these and then get them ready to spray. But I have a couple of parts I need to already put some paint on, but this is what I'm using right here. So I mean, so far so good, but we'll see how long it lasts. I used that VHT stuff before, and it lasted a good long while, but I mean, Rust-Oleum's been around long before that VHT was even thought about. So I'm gonna keep on painting, and I'll just keep it updating you guys. But as for now, we're gonna let it be the end of this video. Thanks for watching. Later, Gators.
Dreams down the dead road track.